This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, Rabbi. So I want to share with you a brief idea that I hope to expand upon in future years. Then we're going to go to the sheet. The Gemara says in Masechta Avodah Zarah, Tana Dve Eliyahu, there are 6,000 years of world existence. The first 2,000 years are Yemei Tohu Vavayu. The next 2,000 years are Yemei Torah. The next 2,000 years are Yemei HaMashiach. 2,000 of emptiness, 2,000 of Torah, 2,000 of Yemei HaMashiach. That's very difficult because the second 2,000 years are Yemei Torah? How's that? What year was Avraham Avinu born in the Hebrew calendar? 1948. So that means at what age of Avraham Avinu did the 2,000 years of Torah begin? So he's 52 years old. So you're going to say the Torah began when Avraham Avinu was 52 years old? What do you mean the Torah began? The Torah wasn't given yet. The Torah was not given until the year 2448, till 500 years later. How could the Gemara say the first 2,000 years are Yemei Tohu Vavayu, and the next 2,000 years are Yemei Torah? The Torah wasn't given when Avraham was 52 years old. The Torah is not given for another 450 years until the year 2448. That's question number one. Question number two, look at the Targum on the words V'yes hanefesh asher asu b'charan. What does the Targum say on the words V'yes hanefesh asher asu b'charan? Well, Rashi says Avraham megayer es ha'anashim, Sarah megayeres es ha'anashim. Question: what do you mean Avraham was megayer the men? Megayer to which religion? Right. There's no conversion. There are no Jews yet. What do you mean Avraham Avinu was megayer? Avraham megayer es ha'anashim. What do you mean he was megayer them? The Torah is not given yet for another 500 years. Yeah, this is not on the sheet. Yeah. Another question is the following. So if you look at the Targum says, who are these nefashos? When we say, yes, hanefesh asher asu b'charan, the Targum says, Elu anoshim deshabidu la'iraisa. These are the individuals that Avraham was meshabed to the Torah. What do you mean meshabed to the Torah? There was no Torah yet. From all of the above, Rabbi Yosef Engel, in the Sefer Beis HaOtzar, derives a very interesting idea, a very interesting concept. And let's bring it down the following way. We'll try to do it very quickly. There's a mechilta in Parshas Mishpatim on the pasuk Kisikne Eved Ivri. Kisikne Eved Ivri says the mechilta that refers to a Jewish slave. And even though we have no proof, here is the remez. Vayavoy hapolit vayaged liAvram ha'ivri. Well, just like in the pasuk Avram ha'ivri refers to Avram the Jew, Eved Ivri means a Jewish slave. Question: but Avraham ha'ivri, Avraham was not a Jew. The Jewish people did not begin yet. So now we're ready. What do you mean? When did the Jewish people start? Did the Jewish people start when the Torah was given? Or did the Jewish people begin with Avraham Avinu? So that's a very big machlekes rishonim. The shita of the Ramban is that Avraham Avinu was already a Yid. And he brings the proof from a Gemara in Kedushin. The Gemara in Kedushin has a sugya. Is there Yerusha by Goyim? Do Goyim have Yerusha min HaTorah? And the Gemara says, obviously, because Esav had Yerusha, the pasuk says, Ki livnei Esav nasati a seir Yerusha. God gave Esav seir as a Yerusha. So obviously, Goyim have Yerusha. And the Gemara says, no. V'dilma Yisrael mumar shani. Maybe a Yisrael who's a heretic is different. Meaning, Esav is not a Yid, Esav is not a Goy, Esav is Yisrael Mumar. Says Ramban, we see from here the Gemara is using the appellation Yisrael in reference to Esav. What do you mean? Yaakov is Yisrael. Esav wasn't born from Yaakov. How could you call Esav Yisrael? Must be already the terminology Yisrael began with Avraham Avinu. The concept, the terminology of Yisrael must have begun with Avraham Avinu. That being the case, we could say that Esav was called a Yisrael. Another raya, says Rabbi Yosef Engel. It says when Avraham Avinu hadn't had children yet. So when Avraham Avinu was promised a child, he said, what do you mean? I look at my astrological signs and I see nothing is destined to come from me. Hashem says, Vayoytse oisai achutza, says, Ribbon Shalom tsei me'etz tagnino shalcha ein mazel liyisrael. What do you mean ein mazel liyisrael? Avraham Avinu is not a Yisrael. Yisrael is Yaakov. Must be the terminology Bnei Yisrael already began from Avraham Avinu. That's the chiddush of Rabbi Yosef Engel, but then he takes it a step further. If I were to ask you the experience of the giving of the Torah, when did it transpire? I think we would have all said it was a one-time experience. We stood on Mount Sinai. God told us the 10 Commandments. In them were alluded all 613 mitzvahs. That's when it began, and that's when it ended. Says Rabbi Yosef Engel, no, that's not correct. We see from the fact that the Gemara in Avodah Zarah refers to the second 2,000 years of creation as Yimei Torah, that the Torah began to be given already in the times of Avraham Avinu. And that means, and we see that from the Targum, that says that Avraham Avinu was meshabed these souls to the Torah, that there was Torah. So you'll say, what do you mean? But even Noach learned Torah. That Rashi says in last week's Parsha, that's how he knew who the kosher animals. Noach had some kind of Ruach HaKodesh, what the Torah would say, but it wasn't given to Noach. But the Torah began to be given to Avraham Avinu.
What were they studying in Shem Ve'eda?
Well, we know the Torah was already in Shamayim. Davar Tziva L'Alef Dor, the Torah existed 974 generations before the world was given. But there was no revelation yet to man in a revelation of Torah. When did the process of the giving of the Torah begin? Rabbi Yosef Engel has a very big chiddush. The Torah began with the following two words. Vayomer Hashem el Avram, Lech Lecha. Hence, the Torah began. Those were the first two words of Nesinas HaTorah. I never heard that before. I don't think anybody else says such a thing. But Rabbi Yosef Engel says that when Hashem said to Avraham Avinu, Lech Lecha, began the giving of the Torah.
What's the name of the sefer?
The Rabbi Yosef Engel, the name of the sefer is Tiferes Yosef, which is a brand new sefer, and a collection of the thoughts of Rabbi Yosef Engel. But Rabbi Yosef Engel says it in the sefer Beis HaOitzar. Beis HaOitzar. V'hainu al karchach demidibur rishon shenadaber Hashem la'Avram lech lecha kvar haya zeh hahiskalas holakis v'hadibur lo inyan Torah u'me'oz kvar huschal inyan HaTorah.
What's his proof?
The proof is the Gemara in Avodah Zarah that calls 2,000 years of Torah beginning with Avraham Avinu. The proof is the fact that the Targum says that Avraham Avinu converted people and was meshabed them to the Torah. I mean, Torah wasn't given yet. Torah began to be given. Okay, Rabbi, so that concludes the first section. I'll let you think about this for a year. Hopefully next year we will develop this idea further.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.